I think we're live.
Are you sure?
No,
I think
I'm
I
I'm
think we're
sure
live.
I'm sure we're live.
Check the button.
Yeah,
Check it again.
yes, I hit the button. Okay.
Restart. Restart.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome everybody to yet another episode of Game Set Live. I'm your host KY Bob, joined by my friends Fabio and Powerman 4K. Mr. Bushido has fallen ill and will not be here. Last minute thing, he was like, Bob, I think I'm just too sick to come on. So our best wishes to him and get some rest, brother. All right. Well,
Okay, that's
this
a start. Start in a hurry.
what? I'm not starting in a hurry. Okay. So this week has not been as dry as you would expect it to have been news wise. There's actually been a little bit of shade being thrown, and this is going to be a very interesting episode. Uh, but first off, Fabio, the Brazilian gangster, what have you been
The
up to?
gangster, the monster, the plague, whatever. There's a
He's
lot of
the
nicknames for me. There, come on.
he's the mill.
The milkman. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard it all
Yeah.
before. Come on,
All right. So what have you been playing down there?
mates. I've been play like besides the games that I've already played before, NBA 2K22, MLB The Show 22, as well as Madden 22 and Halo. I've been also Halo Master Chief Collection and Halo Infinite. I played a tiny bit of WWE 2K22 when it was free to play during the weekend. Quite fun, really fun. And I started to play Multiverses. And I got three questions for you guys that I think that you might help me to answer. First of all, how is this game so good? Second of all, how does this game has such a good netcode for online playing? And third of all, how long will it take for me to get addicted to it and buy all the characters with real money?
No, no, don't do it. That's what they want you to do. No.
Hey, you can unlock them with gold. I mean, how many have you unlocked, Fabio? I haven't decided who to choose yet. I was thinking Batman because I love Batman, but I haven't decided yet.
I haven't unlocked
I heard
anyone. I'm
Superman's
just
pretty
playing.
OP.
I'm just playing like crazy. Superman is amazing at this
Yeah,
game. He's on
Superman's
the
awesome.
he's
Wonder
he's in
Woman's
the
awesome.
he's in the free rotation. I think I may
Yep,
I
he
may end
is.
up
Yep.
unlocking him. Like it's just oh Jesus Christ! What is this game? How is a
Yeah.
free to play game, a simple project like that, has better netcode connection than any Street Fighter game, any Marvel vs. Capcom game, and
Isn't
even
it
Mortal
amazing,
Kombat?
Fabio? As
Like
soon as you sign up, you get into a game. Like it's almost instant. There's
like
no
it
delay. There's
makes
no
no
ping. It's
sense.
fantastic.
It
Yeah.
makes no sense. I'm not
And
gonna
it's
lie.
crossplay, bro. It's
I'm not
crossplay
gonna.
as well. Like so, it's across all networks.
Cross
Just
progression,
amazing
cross
job.
play,
Yeah.
everything. Like, yeah, your
I,
account goes everywhere.
like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I need to say this. I played an online match. It was it was in the Batcave. The Batcave as the scenario, and when you started to play the animated series music intro, I shared a tear. I don't care.
Oh,
That's my childhood. That's my fucking childhood. I was like, okay, that's it. I'll get addicted to this shit. It's official.
So
I thought the idea was ridiculous before, but now I'm all in. This is the best game ever made.
so Fibber is saying that Tom and Jerry are OP. Are they overpowered?
they are. They really are. Even Jake's pretty fast. Like you can't hit Jake with his knife or whatever it is. It's super fast.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's it for me. That's it for me. I'm just overexcited with multiverses.
Multiverses for
It's
Fabio,
just,
Power Man
it's just so
4K.
ridiculous.
You've been playing work, right? Playing work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That's a nice
playing
game.
playing a little real life. But I
Oh,
got
you're playing The
a
Sims.
I came up on a really good deal on a PC, so I've been tinkering with that. I got back into World of Warcraft. I'm getting ready for the latest expansion. I guess I'm kind of like prepping up for Dragonflight, so I'm a pretty big WoW player. I like to play that. I enjoy it casually. I don't play anything extreme, but um, I like to play that. And like you guys said, I've been playing a little bit of Multiverses myself. Um, that's a great game. I'm really, at first I was really surprised at the success of that game, but really when you think about it, and I've heard this because I'm a big fan of fighting games. I love stuff like Injustice, Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, um, Tekken, stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I've heard from the fighting community that everybody's been kind of waiting on some type of competition that's as it's actually decent to go up against Smash Bros. And I
Yep.
think that Multiverses has the characters and the nostalgia and the star power that is like Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Shaggy, Tom and Jerry, the Tasmanian Devil, stuff that everybody grew up with, and stuff and people that that they know in these fighting games. And like I said, it's super smooth. It's the most played fighting game on Steam ever, right? So that's crazy. And it has the most concurrent players on Steam, I think ever in a fighting game, right? You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
fighting games aren't like a crazy PC niche of game, but that's still impressive numbers. I mean, and like you said, Fabio, free to play, crazy stable, instantaneous queues. You know what I mean? It's actually freaking bananas, and it reminds me of. Do you guys remember when Apex Legends dropped and it just dropped and it was just good? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they dropped it
Oh, yeah.
and they announced it and it just worked. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't any crazy controversies behind it. No, dude, the game just worked. I remember loading in right after that live stream to play Apex Legends whenever they announced it. So I think Multiverses has the staying power to stick around, man. It's free to play. It seems to be like they have a pretty fair system to get cool and unlock cool stuff. So yeah, I've been playing that with the family a little bit and focus on the soon to be Xbox first party game World of Warcraft.
So my
You
whole
need to.
take
You
on
need to.
multiverses, the whole niche about multiverses, that I mean, because we're literally talking about like almost a Smash Brothers clone,
Yeah.
but we're seeing like, you ever been in a conversation with one of your buddies and be like, dude, what would happen if this person from this universe went up against this person? I mean, we're talking about a game where Superman can fight freaking Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Superman
I
can
mean,
fight
That was
freaking
the
freaking
original
Shaggy.
appeal of Super Smash Brothers was Pikachu fighting, Sephiroth. You know what I mean? Like that idea is what drove it, and the main issue with a lot of these other, because listen, there's been other clones, right? Been other Smash clones that have that have come out, but the real thing is, like I said, having the characters that had the star power big enough to draw in the large fighting market. You know what I mean? And I think people have just been waiting on something else to compete with it, dude.
It's not
yeah.
it's not just the characters. You have the voice actors and the original music.
Yeah,
That's the main point. Like I do enjoy the Nickelodeon brawler, Smash Brawler that just got released as well. I really enjoyed that game. It has great characters, it has great gameplay. But the problem is that the game was not released with such a good netcoding and neither with voice acting.
yeah,
It just got the voice acting now, and I'm sure that the netcoding is much better than before. But like, god damn it, this Multiversus is a free to play game. It's a small project. It's considered to be a small project, but it just managed to do such things that any other game could not make in with
Well,
such a
to be
budget. In my opinion,
to
like
be
it's
honest, I believe multiverses is server based. I believe that match happens on a server, and it's the
yeah.
two.
Dedicated. I think it might be
Yeah,
dedicated.
it happens on a dedicated server. So the net code, it's concrete. It's not. See, some of these games, like one on screen right now, Outriders, prime example. have a
Okay,
host.
Nooth saying he doesn't hear any audio. Can everyone else hear us?
Everybody else should be able to hear us.
Oh shit! No one can hear us. Seriously?
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's a shame. Let's restart the podcast. That's it.
No, I just checked. The Twitter feed, and the audio is coming through.
Alpha, Timber just
so I think
confirmed.
it
Yeah.
might be a problem with you, Noof, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. How do we say that the problem is with him when he can?
Yeah, I
hear
know.
us?
With Bob's country internet, I can't believe I can actually say for once that somebody else is the problem. Oh my god.
Starlink.
Sign language.
Yeah.
Does anyone know sign language to say the problem?
You look at
is
all these
you?
games that have come out and that have had issues. Outriders, State of Decay 2, all these games are coming out, and I don't know. Like peer-to-peer was the big thing back in the 90s, and then I thought we entered the age of server-based games, and that way, if your connection sucked, then your experience sucked. It didn't make everybody else's suck. But now I think they've gone back to peer-to-peer because I want to say it takes some of the coding load off the developers, but I don't know.
Well, it's cheaper
Chad,
too.
if
So.
you if you have any idea, well, I understand it may be cheaper, but they're also Multiverses is also a free to play game. So what's paying for that server?
Yeah, maybe.
People buying characters, that's what's paying for it.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy the
And
Founders
skins.
Pack. It's $55, I think, in Australia. And that unlocks. I don't know how many characters it unlocks. I haven't
15.
really looked into it. Yeah.
I think it's
So that's how
15.
they're making their money.
The other one is
I mean-
20, and the third package is 40 characters.
I tell you what, but this is the best running beta game that's come out for a while. I mean, it's
Is
still
this a
in beta.
beta?
It's
Is
crazy.
this a
Yeah.
beta? No,
It is
no,
still
you
in
can't.
beta. Yeah.
Please don't change them. Don't change that. Just keep it that way. Just add the characters and that's it. Because
Noof is all good now.
the connection is so well done. Like, for fuck's sake, Capcom, just learn. Just take a look at that and fucking
Well,
learn.
hopefully they will. I mean, we're getting another Street Fighter, so hopefully, it's been a while. Hopefully they take this to heart and they learn from it.
Yep.
Jedi Knight Peter, last man on the panel. What have you been playing? Besides
So
Multiverse?
sorry, I just got locked out of my Restream account. I apologize for being late. What have I been playing? So I don't have a go at me, but I haven't played Guardians of the Galaxy yet. So I downloaded that. Really
Shame
looking
on
forward to playing it, but I don't want to be in a big party when I play that game. So I started playing my friend Pedro last night, and boy, is that a lot of fun, that game. Had a great time. Missing Halo co-op, can't play it anymore, so I'm missing that. Playing a little bit of Multiverse. But yeah, that's about it for me.
We are in the month, though, that it was rumored that we would get Halo Infinite Co-op. We're in that month, so I don't know. Hopefully we'll get some good news. Hopefully their flight went well and they addressed the bugs and we get it this month. I would really like.
I hope so. I hope so.
I would really.
We need it.
The problem right now with Halo Infinite, and I've been a part of two
Just
major.
one problem.
Oh no! The big problem. I've been a part of two big game nights here recently. I was in a game night with
Sensei?
Unit and Sensei this past week, and Fabio, you were there.
Yes,
And
I was.
before that, it was a huge one with Peter and oh goodness, Peter! Everybody was in that.
Oh, everyone, yeah. I mean,
was
Umbra,
crazy.
Bushido,
I wasn't
BLSD.
there.
I mean, J-Rock, KJ,
guess I'm not
Yeah, it was
guess
nuts.
I'm I guess
And
I'm
see,
not
I think
part of
even Doomy
everyone.
jumped in for a little bit. Grey Monad was there. Blood Wolf was there. There was a lot of us there.
and
That
these
I
was
get.
really cool.
the custom matches um, that the party leader is setting up, they're just so much fun, and that's what's killing Halo now more than not having co-op is not having Forge
Oh, well, thank
because
you, mate, because I was actually in charge of making the games that day, so I appreciate that.
You know,
yeah,
you,
they were
but
good.
but here's the thing. One of the big factors that it was a problem at launch, and it still is to this day, is the fact that the way that you can save those games, those custom games, and share them so that other people can download them and play it like we can do it right now in Master Chief Collection or Halo 5, it's totally broken. So what good is Forge if we can't share with the community and the community cannot enjoy what it created? You know what I mean? Halo
Yeah,
is
that's
not
why
true.
just
why don't you think the community will be able to share it?
because it's broken. The system is broken. That's the
The
thing.
the theater, is that what you talk like?
No,
I
no,
I
no, no,
mean,
not the file. The file for the custom game, it's broken. You need to literally go to the menu settings and put every single feature that you put it before in the match so you can play that again. You can't just I'll play it again and it's going to start a brand new match with exactly the same custom settings that you put it before. No, you need to go to the settings, change change everything to exactly the same thing that you just put it before, and so you can enjoy it. And before in
yeah,
Halo, you just
it's not broken all the time, but like sometimes I'll give you that sometimes it doesn't work, and a lot of the time you have to change the gravity or the movement scaler again. But generally, it's better. Generally, it is a lot better than it used to be.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But when you're with a big bunch of friends, we're generally forgiving. And when you actually get into a game, it's
Oh yeah,
incredibly fun.
for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. That's a fact. We had a ton of fun with Sensei, Bob and I. Even though we had a ton of matches that actually felt more like normal Halo, but I do understand that it's quite fun with a group of friends just doing crazy shit. But the thing is that sometimes you have just a oh my god, I just created a brand new awesome mode here and I wanted to share with someone. I wanted to share with people, so I'll put the file available so people can download it and experience that mode. And they
Mhm.
can do it. They can enter the session. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
All right.
Yeah, look, I agree with that. And I've got a couple of modes that a lot of people don't have. I got them from Footed Ghost, the Australian YouTuber that we had on Xbox Infinite. He has got the VIP mode,
Hmm.
which,
Ooh.
should be in the game, but it's in my bookmarks. So if everyone wants to play it for themselves, just go to my bookmarks in Halo Infinite. We've also got Juggernaut mode in there. So if you guys want to play that, that's there also. And we have another really cool mode, Kong Slayer, which is fusion coils. So you only have fusion coils at the start of the game. And that's also another incredibly fun game mode. So they are coming and they are in my bookmarks. But yeah, I agree. The bookmarking system is generally broken, and every time you set up a match, you really basically need to start from scratch.
Hmm.
All right. So everybody in the chat, Palpatine, Thember, Pyro, yeah, yeah. Noof stopping by, Phantom Kraken. Nice to see everybody. We're going to get into our first topic right now, and everybody in the chat, let me know. What are you scared of? Because apparently
Ah, Jesus.
Sony has they've shown their hand on what they're scared of, and well, I thought they were okay with the acquisition as soon as Microsoft said, well, we're not going to make the game exclusive to Xbox and PC. We're still going to allow it to be on PlayStation. And that kind of, I guess, subdued them, for a little while. And then I think they started thinking about it. Okay, but we're still going to charge $70 for that game, and anybody who has Game Pass is going to play it for free. What would you play it on? So they started. Was it down there with you, Fabio? Down there in Brazil, they went to the trade commission down there and the one in New
Yeah.
Zealand, and started saying, "Hey, this is going to be unfair because people are going to take a look at it and they're going to get it on Xbox because they won't have to pay for it." And
Yep.
then what was really funny is that today, as a matter of fact, breaking news this morning, Microsoft came right out and said, "What are you talking about? There's nothing unique about the games made by Activision Blizzard. There's nothing that you can't find in another game on another platform." And then a little while later from that response, they came out and even said they threw more shade at Sony, stating that Sony's the one that takes third-party games and locks them down behind their service, like Final Fantasy, like Spider-Man, and other games like that. So I just thought it was so funny that Microsoft come out and was like, "What are you talking about? There's nothing special about Activision Blizzard games. That's crazy. Go play Apex."
And like,
Oh,
let's be honest, even though it's a big deal and it has a lot of talent there, they are right. There's nothing right now for Activision Blizzard for what they are releasing at this moment, as well as in recent years. There's nothing that is like unique to the point of holy shit, this is the game of the games. You know what I mean?
well, what's funny, I think, is so when this acquisition was first announced, Microsoft came out and said, "We are not going to limit games from coming to the PlayStation platform." But the way Microsoft sounded this morning, saying there's nothing special about it, is leaning me towards thinking they are going to make it exclusive to the Xbox and the PC. Because why would they be saying you don't need this? They've done a 180 from saying, well, you're still going to have it, to you don't need this and there's nothing special about it. It may be the writing on the wall. I think they're so sure of this acquisition now that them themselves are kind of showing their hand, and we're seeing that after Modern Warfare 2, we could see the next Call of Duty only on Xbox. What do you guys think?
I don't think that Call of Duty is going to be exclusive to Xbox because Microsoft just confirmed that it wasn't going to be like when the acquisition was announced. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of stuff is going to be like maybe games like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. This is all speculation that I'm talking about, but in general, I do think that there are going to be exclusives, but Call of Duty is probably like the one thing that they are 100% sure that this is going to remain multiplayer.
Yeah, and I'll even add a piece onto that. I'll say this: like, I don't think that something needs to be exclusive to a platform if it's offered in a subscription service for $15 a month. You know what I mean? Like the fact that Call of Duty is going to be active in the Game Pass subscription and dropping in there day and date, like they've said with all their first party stuff, that it's not going to matter where else it goes. Hey, listen, I don't think that Microsoft or Xbox is going to prevent anybody from saying, "Hey, listen, I don't want your Game Pass. I don't want this great deal that I can get monthly to get all these games. I'd much rather go play it on a platform I choose." Then they're like, "Okay, then give us $70. Thank you. Come again." You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna great. We'll take your money, and we'll take that money and want to keep on investing it into the ecosystem that Game Pass exists on, whether it be PC, mobile, or Xbox. I think that is the play, and I think that is why Sony is so shook about this whole deal, because they see the writing on the wall. They know that next year or the year after, or whenever this actually happens, and they say, "Hey, guess what? The latest Call of Duty, whenever it comes out, yeah, that's going straight to Game Pass. Like there's no annual $70 to $100 purchase, including all the DLC. All this stuff is going into Game Pass." I don't know what other platform or what kind of sense it would make unless you're just so dedicated to another platform that you just have to play Call of Duty on a PlayStation or somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense to say, "Hey, buy it and have this game that comes out annually, and will be, another one's going to come out next year," or subscribe to the subscription service and have access to everything, including previous Call of Duties. So that's what's got them running scared.
Yeah, I agree, Power Man. I think it detracts from actual Call of Duty franchise if they do make it exclusive. I think that with a game like that, you need a player count for it to be successful. And we've seen, not so much in America, but especially with Halo Infinite in Australia, very difficult to get a game at a reasonable ping. So I don't want them to make Call of Duty exclusive. But Call of Duty is so popular with the casuals that in the 360 generation, when Microsoft had the marketing for it and Xbox had the marketing for it, it was synonymous with Xbox Call of Duty. And then the PS4 generation and PlayStation got the marketing rights, and it became synonymous with the PlayStation brand. And so people, the casuals, not people that know what's going on like us, but the casuals would think that you could only play Call of Duty on PlayStation. And I think the same turnaround will then happen when Xbox does have the marketing rights with Call of Duty, and it will then become synonymous with Xbox again. And yeah, you're right, Power Man. It's going to come on Game Pass. I mean, what, you're going to either buy it on the Sony platform for $70, or you can get it free with your Game Pass subscription at $10 a month. I mean, I know what I'm going to choose.
Yep, same here. So everybody in the chat, again, appreciate you all. You're the reason we're here. I mean, yeah, we love talking games, but it's even better when we've got a whole community that we can bounce off of, and it's great. So tell a buddy or two, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. We're going to get into our next topic, and that is, there's a little game coming out in October called oh guys, what is it? It's that double A game called Scorn, I think.
I think it's Scarn, right? No, just kidding.
You know, it looks like a AAA game, but here recently, it's been stated that it's only a AA game, that it's not a AAA game because it's only going to be 6 to 8 hours long. But to me, that looks like a top-notch AAA game. It may not be everybody's key because, I mean, come on now, it's pretty gory, and the things that you're doing to yourself in the game and the way you're killing enemies is really off the wall. But other than that, I mean, would we say that High on Life is not going to be a AAA game? Because it's really crazy and off the wall.
I don't think High on Life is a AAA game.
AAA? I mean, come on. You know?
I don't think it's. I wouldn't classify it as a AAA game. Is there anything wrong with it being a AA game? But I mean, it doesn't have a AAA budget. I wouldn't have thought That's not to
Yeah, I
detract from the
mean,
game at all. I think the game's going to be fantastic. And if you're a HR Geiger fan, this is the game that was made for you. I mean, it's great. And it's been a while since we've got a good Alien game or a good Predator game. So I, for one, am looking forward to it. Do I think that it not being AAA is going to, diminish from it? I don't think so. I'm going to
yeah,
really enjoy that game.
like I mean, that's exactly what I was going to mention. Like, doesn't matter if it is a AAA or a AA game. Like, I mean, we do have some games that are considered to be top-notch AAA games released very recently, like Ratchet and Clank, that for what I heard, you can finish them around that time, 6 to 8 hours. And even though it has that time, people consider that game to be a AAA game and a great game. And I believe in them. No worries at all. For example, Returnal. Could we say that Returnal is a AAA or a AA game?
I would say it's
Well,
a double A game, and you could also say the same thing with Your Scent. I think that's a double A game, and you can also say
Yep.
the same thing with a few other games that were released. Does that detract from how good the games are? I don't think
What is
so.
that? What
Um,
is that game? What is that game that was that survival horror game that was? Ah, Jesus, I forgot. That was released before for exclusive to Xbox. That was on Game
uh,
Pass.
Evil Dead, but Back for Blood.
The media.
The Medium. Yeah, exactly. The Medium.
But
That's what.
there's one
That's
thing that I
what.
can say to this, bro.
People.
This put us
Avoid.
all to rest right here. This is what puts it to rest. Stray is higher rated and is the highest rated over God of War this year. Over God of War.
Oh
It
Jesus.
is a
Seriously?
literal cat simulator game, and it is outrated. Why? And it's an indie game. I guarantee you that the budget of God of War and the budget of Stray do not match up at all. Right? Just like if you look at
Yeah.
Hellblade, good lord, that game was made by like a couple of people. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
it wasn't even created.
An
And
indie
the thing
studio.
is like these guys are trying to take a shot at Scorn, as if it's some kind of like weird dig. When indies have been carrying this generation, dude. Indie games have carried this generation thus far. Mine,
Hmm.
besides a couple of gems that have come out from the AAA space, indie games have been carrying this thing. You know what I mean? And
How good was
I would,
Psychonauts
Yep.
2? I
yes,
don't
I
think
mean, oh my
Psychonauts
god,
2 was a AAA game.
Psychonauts 2 is probably my
Magnificent.
favorite
Yep.
game of 2021. And
Yep.
it literally wouldn't have had
Amazing.
bosses if it wasn't for Xbox. You know what I mean? Like
It
it
Exactly.
wouldn't
should
even have
have
had those fights.
such a great
Exactly.
game. Such a great game. But once again, I think the argument that is actually going to kill this discussion is not necessarily for us to list a bunch of games that came before on PlayStation and Xbox. It's just the fact of what does it matter if the fucking game is AAA or AA? Do you have fun with it? Do you enjoy it? So what's the matter? What's the issue? Does it make it lesser good?
Because the same people that are downplaying Scorn have been hyping Sifu and have been hyping the Fist game that came out that was exclusive to the Sony platform, and they were hyping the shit out of Stray. And the issue is like it's Scorn is like one of the decent competitors for something that's coming out for Xbox this year. Even though everybody's still saying that nothing's coming out for the Xbox platform. Well, there are things, and there's I think if I had my guess, I put my money on it. If this deal comes out, there will be a lot more announcements between now and the end of the year. I think that it solely depends on that, but they're just they're downplaying the game, trying to make it seem like it's something that it's not. I think the game looks good. Is it for everybody? Probably not. I mean, if you're easily grossed out or weirded out, I don't think it's for you. You know what I mean? Like I can also say that Resident Evil looks really great. It's not something that I play every single time, but I see the appeal. I know that people enjoy it, but that doesn't mean that it's just for everybody. You know what I mean? Sworn is a very unique game with a unique aesthetic, but it's like Jedi said, man. If you're a Geiger fan, like you're in there like swimwear. It makes no sense not to play this game.
Just keep
Yeah,
trying to
like
move that
swimwear.
goalpost.
That's all the way up there.
Okay, you guys have opened the rabbit hole, and KY is going to jump right in it because everything goes easier with KY.
Well, at least we
If
know
you're
you're lubed up.
jumping in, I'm jumping out. Goodbye.
Well, shit. So my question to the panel is, what makes a AAA game? Are we just talking? So okay. Let's say Ubisoft made a game, and it was a low budget, but is it still a AAA game because it's Ubisoft? What makes
No, I
what
think
makes a
all budget
AAA
is-
game?
It's all budget. I don't think Extraction was a AAA game, and that was made by Ubisoft. So it's all budget. I would say it comes down to budget.
Yeah, I would say that too. I would say anything in the, if you start knocking on the $100 million mark or $75 million or above, somewhere in that range, I think now you start talking AAA. And I think AAA is just like a more of a, AAA, AA is just a term for the overall scope of the game, right? Like you look at a game and you take a game like Call of Duty, for instance, right? Like you know that this is big budget, big action. A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of people. I mean, they got 2,000 people that are dedicated to working on Call of Duty at any given point in the year. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 132 million to make something like God of War or Gears of War or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? AA is, I would say the the higher tier, it can go anywhere, right? Like you can have AA 2D platformer, you can have a AA 3D FPS, something along the lines of like Bright Memory Infinite or Scorn or
I was just going to mention Bright Memory Infinite.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like that's nobody and also nobody says that indies have to suck or look bad. You know what I mean? These AA games. Look at Kena Bridge of Spirits. Look at oh my gosh, what was the Hollow Knight? You got and what's the other one that was Xbox? Oh my gosh, the name is killing me. Bright, I can't think of it, but anyways, like they got no.
Okay.
Ori and the Will of the Wisp, right? Like that's
Yes.
like look at how
Amazing
beautiful
game.
that game was with the budget that it had. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and Moon Studios absolutely kills that. And
my game of the year. I loved everything about that game.
And they literally were working remotely in different parts of the planet. You know what I mean? So like, I think that it's a broad term, and I think a lot of people just kind of sling it around like mud. You know what I mean? And try to say, okay, well, this game sucks because it's going to be AA Game Pass fodder. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if you're going to say that, then what is Stray? What is Sifu? What is Kena Bridge of Spirits? I mean, these games, you can't have your cake and eat it too, man. Like either you support indie developers and AA games or you don't. And if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But you can't just automatically downplay the game because it has a title of AA or AAA. I've seen many AAA games fall to the wayside and fail completely, and mind you, look like absolute trash. If you think back, guys, to Predator Hunting Grounds, that game was awful, and it was considered AAA. You know what I mean? So there's plenty of games that have released out there that have had these like titles, and they have not been successful. So I don't think that anybody could take Scorn, that was a Kickstarter game and ended up getting funding and trying to say that this game doesn't look good or isn't visually impressive.
I mean, let's face the facts, Power Man. The reason why it's getting so much pushback and so much hate is because it's releasing on Game Pass.
Yes.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to play Sifu.
Yes.
I want to play Stray. I want to play Kena Bridge of Spirits. But, Sony managed those games and, good for them. They are eventually going to come to Xbox. So I am eventually going to get to play them. But I don't hate on the game and think that they're bad games because they released on PlayStation first.
You're just waiting to play it on your preferred platform. And there's nothing wrong with that. And somebody else could say, if Scorn or if Warhammer 40K Darktide drops out, what do you think that if somebody wants to wait and spend the money and go get it on another platform, I don't think anybody's going to be upset about that. But at the same time, you can't downplay something just because it's not coming to your platform of choice. You know what I mean? And that goes across the board.
Yeah, I guess
the game that's coming out this month is Midnight Fight Express or something like that. Also, not another big game, but it looks amazing. Can't wait to play it.
I've always, back in the day, it used to be pretty clean cut. You could look at the game and you could tell whether or not the game was AA or AAA. But there's so many talented people in the field these days that, unfortunately, I think I'm still looking at it the same way. I haven't evolved yet. I look at a game, and if it's really high quality, regardless of who made it or how much money went into it, if it's a really high quality game, I look at it and I go, well, yeah, that's a AAA game. It's got very high production values. It looks really good. It plays very well. And it's modern. That's got to be a AAA game to me. Now, the ones that really confuse me is like Cuphead. Cuphead kind of confused me because you look at it and yeah, it's got that retro look, but it's also got that modern pop, and it is side scrolling. And so I'm like, I'm not sure if it's a double or a triple. Same with Ori. It confuses me a little bit. I've never really been the one to really go looking for or really care how much it took to make the game. I mean, if that's
Okay,
the
kick
truth,
my
then Halo
ass.
Infinite would be the best game ever made in the history of gaming.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I just could not get into Cuphead. I was trying so hard, and I just
Ah,
kicked my ass
Jesus,
that game.
Jedi Knight.
That game
Why?
hurt my soul.
No, Jedi Knight. Why are you doing this? Why are you talking about? Why are you talking this to us? Like you could have just kept quiet. You could have just shut the fuck up.
I agree with Jedi. I
You
hate it. I
just- you
hated that
just-
game.
Ah, for fuck's sake,
I
guys.
hated that game.
Hey, remember Phil Spencer played it at E3. He played
guys.
the demo, and he said that the game was that hard that he went back to them and told them to make it a little bit easier. Can you imagine what it would have been like if they didn't do that? Like,
I
wow,
mean,
that
does-
game kicked my
Does
ass.
I'm so sorry. Like, does anyone as Finbar just admitted that he decided to give up on Cuphead? So I'll ask you this: Is anyone else a piece of fucking shit that decided to give up on that? No, just kidding.
No, that's so harsh,
The way I look at it, I can't give up
I'm
on
just
something
kidding.
I didn't play.
I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding. I
You're
couldn't
welcome,
resist
bro.
making
You're
the
welcome,
jerk
bro.
way.
I'm not a real gamer.
No, but
Hey.
God damn it, boys! Like,
Shout out
Cuphead's
to
such a
Infinite
great
Umbra for
game.
stopping by. Shout out to It's Seth. Shout out to RSJ Fan. Shout out to Red Panda Gaming.
Red Dead Panda.
Red Dead Panda. I love it. So, has anybody seen the new Backbone One, the handheld DualSense controller for your mobile device?
For the PS5, the PS5 specific one, looks great. Like, I
Yes.
think the Backbone things are fantastic, and like Xbox ones have been around for a while, and I think they work really, really well. I mean, I can understand the Xbox ones being there because Game Pass works fantastically well on your mobile device. My fear with it is I don't think that PlayStation's service works quite as good, but I'm glad that they do have something.
Now, did anybody else besides me notice the way it's being marketed? It's being marketed as to only be used when you're console linking your phone to your PS5 at home. Anybody else pick up on that?
No, I didn't. But Thimba points out a really good thing. It only works for iPhone. It doesn't work on
Well, yeah.
Android
Yeah,
devices.
the
So that's a big deal.
Backbone as a company is designed for iPhones originally. Like it's an iPhone competitor to the Razer Kishi and the other Android compatible cloud devices. But I just
So
don't.
do
I don't.
they have an Android specific one, Power Man? I'm not sure if they do, mate.
What's that, Backbone?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they do. But I think they just straight up iPhone or whatever. But my real question about this device is what are they trying to do with it? Like does Sony? Maybe I missed something, but I mean, are they playing cloud games mobilely now? I mean, like, what? How are they? You know what I mean? Like, what is this being set to do exactly? Remote playing
Yeah,
your PS5 on the same network, which is what
my thoughts exactly.
they've been able to do with a phone since since I think the middle of the PS4 generation, and it works. But I mean, if I mean, I guess maybe if somebody's using the TV or something like that, but I don't know. It seems like an odd thing if you don't have something like XCloud to market this device. I just don't know what it's for.
So the official marketing says that this device serves as a mobile gaming controller that players can use with their PlayStation Remote Play app on their iOS phones. So it's only to remote play with your console. So we're still not seeing a cloud offering from Sony. And I'm still wondering what the Azure deal was for because I don't see Sony using it. So,
Yeah, I just that just to me seems like a kind of a waste. I don't know what that. And what sucks is I think a lot of people might be buying this product thinking that they're actually going to be able to play PS5 games on the go, and they're going to have to come to a harsh realization that that's not going to be an option like you can do with Android devices as easily with XCloud and Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying it's perfect, but it works pretty damn well. And in comparison, and you're not just streaming your device on your home network. You know what I mean? You're literally, you can actually be on the bus or on vacation or something like that and play your games.
Speaking of the devil, look who stopped by. None other than J Rock.
J Rock in the house.
That's right.
J
Rock in the house. J Rock with the killer Halo Infinite Gaming Nights that I love being a part of. That's
We
right.
gotta do another podcast, Jay. It's been a
Are you
while since
nice?
we've been on a podcast.
Are you
together.
United? Seriously? Nice.
What, Fabio?
Are you a knight? Is that it?
Are you you throwing shade at me again? Are you? Come on now.
Okay, I'll stop it.
All right, so you remember back when Microsoft said that they were acquiring studios to keep them away from the likes of Tencent, Amazon, and Google because they looked at as them as the real competition, and they were they're basically protecting the console space because we know when these people get a hold of these, they're not going to be anywhere else. And they're going to drive their own gaming services.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it has recently come out that Tencent, the giant, is looking to become a majority shareholder of Ubisoft.
Shit.
Right?
Shit.
Yeah, shit.
Sweet.
Come on. Why are you showing this to me? Come on.
I need Microsoft to break that wallet out again and defend the console space once again. Because no, I need my Far Cry and I need my Assassin's Creed.
And dude, that you saying that is like the one thing is like, how could anybody be upset that Xbox of all people is purchasing Activision Blizzard, knowing that at any point that Amazon or Apple or Tencent or all these other places could purchase these games and lock them behind some shitty cloud service or some crappy launcher on PC or anything that they would want to do with these games. But instead, Xbox is purchasing the Activision Blizzard, and not only are they not locking it behind anything, you can basically play it wherever you want, but also they're going to give you a subscription service that the games are going to drop in day and date. It makes no sense for anybody to be upset. And it's like you said, every time we hear about, Ubisoft getting bought by Tencent or, Square Enix selling off all of their American division studios, it sounds to me like the Japanese side of Square Enix is looking to get purchased. You know what I'm saying? We're all thinking in our heads, man, it'd be awesome if Xbox got them over anybody else because we know they're going to do right by the IP and the games, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shake my head whenever I see Tencent because you really don't know what's going to happen there. You know what I mean? Is every Ubisoft game going to get turned into a microtransaction fueled pay to win live service game? You know what I mean? Like, could that be the future? That could be very possible.
Well, it's in the wording though. The wording of this leak doesn't say they're going to buy them. It says that they're going to become a majority shareholder. Now, if you're a businessman and you get a whiff that a company may be getting bought for, let's say, $10 billion, just to throw a number out there, wouldn't you want to be the leading shareholder before that purchase goes through? I mean,
Yeah.
why is it worded that way that they want to be a majority shareholder? Why don't they just buy
Yeah,
them?
they already own, I think, what, 5% of Ubisoft, and I think that they acquired that 5% when Vivendi was trying to do a hostile takeover of Ubisoft, I think back in 2018. This will increase their shareholdings to, I think, 16% of the company, so they won't have a majority stake at all. But I mean, from everything we've seen from Ubisoft, they do want to remain independent.
So Tencent has done this before. When they
Yes,
they
they
saw a
have. They actually
when they saw
helped them. They actually
yep.
helped them overcome a hostile takeover by Vivendi. I think back in 2018 by purchasing shares back then. But the offer that they're giving, $101 per share, is incredibly generous. I mean, Ubisoft at its absolute peak was worth $110 per share. And I think, I mean, I can't remember what it's sitting at the moment, but I think it's something like $50 or something. So, I mean, it is
I think it's mid 50s.
yeah, it's an incredibly generous offer, and I just cannot see it being rejected. $101 is well above market price.
Right now, after the market closed, it's sitting at $46 per share.
I
Like-
don't know.
So
Like
I don't
one
know
thing
if,
that
Denver is old enough to remember NVIDIA Media.
I think
Yeah, I think
that
Hargate's right. I don't think 10% will be allowed to buy Ubisoft outright. I think that deal will be blocked if they try to do it that way. So they're trying to purchase shares this way, and supposedly they're maneuvering themselves to buy other shares in other ways as well. So this could be seen as a roundabout way to have a takeover bid. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and
let
see.
let's sum up everything with just one analogy here. Very simple analogy. Ubisoft is a frog, and Tencent is the guy who puts the frog inside a frying pan. We know how that fucking works, right? You make the frying pan so hot, and then when you put the frog inside it, the frog will jump out of it instantly. But if you put the frog inside the frying pan and you gradually go heat it up with tiny bits, it will get to the point that the frog is going to be dead and he won't even notice. That's what Tencent is doing.
I didn't know that. Hargate pointed out. Look, Hargate's brilliant when it comes to all this stuff. But he said that Tencent is trying to buy the owner's shares, and they don't really have any incentive to sell those shares. And I do agree with that. So that could be a factor is why the deal wouldn't go through. So thank you, Hargate. Your knowledge is second to none. As usual. And yes, Umbra, I do remember the conversation we have that they're going to be acquired soon. I still disagree. I believe the brothers, will fight off any takeover bid. They want to remain independent. They want Ubisoft to remain independent. That's why they fought off Vivendi when they had their hostile takeover bid. I know consolidation's happening at an extreme rate in the industry right now, but I just think that Ubisoft want to remain independent.
But Jedi, I'll put this to you too. There was another independent studio that made a really big point to remain independent. You know which one that was? That was Bungie. Bungie made a huge point to remain independent.
They still have autonomy in their deals.
They do,
and that's the big difference.
And nobody's to say no one's to say that Ubisoft couldn't write that into the potential, right? I mean, they could say, "Hey, listen, we want to keep our our freedom, and whatever," and maybe they work out a deal or what have you. But my thing is, Ubisoft is one of those dev studios now that's I would say. They have a couple of solid IP and a couple of solid games, but they're suffering from what a lot of people call like the Ubisoft formula. You know what I'm saying? Like all their games are kind of like blending together, and they've got to try to figure that out. And it's in moments
and the
like
market's
that.
Very different to when Vivendi bought them. When Vivendi bought them, they were just coming out with Assassin's Creed Origin. They had that. They had their games speaking for themselves at that time. 4 years is a very long time. And we've just seen recently that Ubisoft has had to cancel a lot of games because they just don't have the budget for them anymore. We don't know how Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to hit. That's gone through development hell. I think Skull and Bones is going to fail miserably. Extraction just didn't do the numbers that they wanted at all. They don't even know what they're doing with the Assassin's Creed franchise at the moment, which is their big, heavy hitter. So, they're in a very difficult situation at the moment. Very different to when Vivendi was trying to buy them. I do hope they remain independent, but I really do.
So, Hargeet Chani, shout out to you, brother. Always there with the knowledge and raising the important questions. Would we rather Sony Ubisoft? And
are you sharing the topics with people beside us? Seriously?
No, he put it in the chat. It's on screen right now.
Yeah. I think you just shared the topic.
Before the rest of the panel speaks on this question, Hargeet, I think we talked about this somewhat. When the Sony got the portion of Epic Games that they got, how much they paid for Bungie, and in relationship to how much Microsoft paid for ZeniMax, and then how much Microsoft turned around and paid for Activision Blizzard. I do not believe that Sony, I'm not saying that they cannot afford Ubisoft, but I don't see Sony coming that close to their yearly revenue to acquire Ubisoft, because we're talking about the intellectual properties alone, and when these deals are made, there's a forecast of future profits that go into that price, and we're probably looking at a minimum $9 billion for Ubisoft, and I don't see Sony paying that much of their yearly revenue to acquire Ubisoft. I don't see them doing it, because it's not something that they've done in the past. Throw that much money in. Sony's about getting the studios that show promise and have done good things and growing them. Not like Microsoft, where they get studios and they show games and we never get them. I hate to call a spade, but that's just the way it seems like it's going.
Well, I just said Sony has never really been in the habit of jumping on these. Listen, like they didn't even fund Days Gone 2, and that game didn't even do that bad. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of rated bad because they sent out a bad day. They didn't have a day one patch for the game, so it came out buggy. But the game itself sold well, and it sold fairly decent on PC, and they still decided to go another direction with it. You know what I mean? So what I just don't understand why would Sony be interested in Ubisoft right now, who is, in my opinion, is kind of on their heels, kind of backpedaling, like you said with Jedi. Like Skull and Bones, that game is not going to succeed, man. That game is not. I'm sorry, the market. It's just not. Sea of Thieves exists, and everybody's been kind of wondering what this game is and why it's happening. And now that people have seen it, people are already saying this game's DOA. Like I said, they don't know what's going on with Assassin's Creed. I think that Ubisoft is having a real big identity crisis, and they don't know what to do because their formula is kind of being mocked and clowned, and they're being told that they need to change things up, and I'm not sure if they know what direction they want to go with that. So
the amount of memes that came out of Elden Ring were hilarious,
and
it was stark, the difference between Elden Ring and any Ubisoft game, wasn't it, Power Man? I agree with you 100%.
I mean, just all the UI memes I remember, right? Like all of the map markers and all the things that make Ubisoft games. And listen, dude, I like Ubisoft games. I love The Division. The Division was one of my favorite games that I played last generation. I am a fan of the Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Origins is probably my favorite recent Assassin's Creed game. You know what I mean?
Odyssey is a lot
Egypt
better.
was epic.
Yeah, Egypt was awesome, dude. I love that game. And it's actually one of the few that I've actually finished because they're so damn big. But yeah, I just, Sony, they bought Bungie. Bungie's been doing really good. People can say what they want about Destiny 2, but that franchise is doing really well. It has crazy concurrent players on every day across PC, PlayStation, Xbox, all across the board. And they let Bungie have their autonomy, probably at the request of them. So, Ubisoft is one of those things, man. Like, they might want to remain independent, but it's like Ombra said. I think that Tencent is just trying to, like, I imagine them like the Hydra, man, and they've got tentacles that are kind of like, creeping into like various portions of that company, and eventually, if they get enough in there and they get a good enough grip, they could start making real big decisions that Tencent would actually like to do. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, and I'm not saying I'm not trying to predict the future here, but that's just my thoughts on it. You know what I mean? I think that eventually they could, but as much as I would say I would prefer Sony to take them, honestly, I would say if they're going to treat them like they're going to do Bungie and let continue letting them be multi-platform and have their creative freedom, but give them the money that they need to make good projects, or maybe let them borrow some developers from some of their first-party studios to give them some really creative ideas that can kind of break the mold of what Ubisoft has been labeled for the last like 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean? But I just don't think that Sony's going to blow, essentially all of their budget. You know what I mean? Versus, waiting out on a diamond in the rough, or maybe catching, which I think might be a better chance. It would be the Japanese side of Square Enix. You know what I mean? That's my guess.
I don't think it's a good fit for Sony, Ubisoft. I think that Sony already has a very great stable of single-player story-driven games. They don't need any more of that. The Bungie deal was perfect for Sony. I think that they overpaid. I still stand by that. But that is going to really help them with their movement into the live service market. I don't think anyone really does it better than Destiny. Destiny 2 still makes a lot of money. The content that they provide to their users is fantastic. It really is. Yes, it didn't start off on the greatest footing, but there are people that are playing it, 6, 7 years later. These people play this game every single day. I mean, just has a fantastic gameplay loop. I don't think Sony will buy them. My worry with Tencent is they do, like you said, Power Man, they have their tentacles in everything. They already own a large part of Epic, Riot, Supercell, Frontier. They just made $33 billion, like number one in gaming revenue last year. I mean, by a considerable margin. I think Sony was second with 24 billion. So there's a big big difference between those two numbers. And anything that makes money in China, you can absolutely guarantee they are linked to the CCP.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like my information being shared with the Communist Party, Chinese Party. I just have a very, very uneasy feeling about that.
Yep.
And so
and
that
that's
would
and
be
that's
my
the
2 cents
underlying issue for me too, man. Is knowing that those tentacles, the big giant, kraken head that's at the end of that tentacle is the CCP, man. And it's just not something that I want a game that I really enjoy being locked into, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not my idea of where I want my info and my email address and everything else that goes into creating accounts for these games. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Fabio, you still there?
Yes, I am. I just patiently waiting for you guys because I do agree. I do agree. I actually got nothing to add to this.
I will say that Ubisoft does have some great IPs, and if
do.
they can get their heads out of their asses, they can come back from the brink. And I think they are on the brink. I think that they need to go back to their. Like, I think that they've got Assassin's Creed right. I think Origins and Odyssey, not so much Valhalla, but those two games are absolutely fantastic. I think they have something special with the Division. I think that they need to go back to the original protagonist in Watch Dogs, but I think that game can be excellent. I think if they bring back Splinter Cell, it can be a great game. I like the difference that they're going for in Beyond Good and Evil 2. But they just need to cut the fat. They need to get rid of games like Extradition. What's that other one? X Defiant. I mean, X Defiant looks so incredibly bad. You know, Skull and Bones looks so incredibly bad. And I know they want to hit that big ticket item like they hit with Rainbow Six Siege. That game makes them an incredible amount of money year on, year out, and they want to hit gold with that. The problem with that is it's very, very hard to replicate that. So I know that's what they're trying to do, but the IPs that they own, they can come back from this little slump that they've had.
Yeah, they have a couple of good things. I mean, they've got that Polynesian spinoff to Immortal or to Immortals.
Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, Phoenix
They're
Rising.
making a second one of that as well.
Nobody's mentioned
Polynesian gods.
Far Cry. Do you think they need to do anything to Far Cry, or just leave it the way it is and keep giving us more?
I think Far Cry is great the way it is. I think it's one of those really, really good stealth co-op shooters with a little bit of humor behind it. I think that they just continue on as is with that franchise.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't do what you did in number 2. Guns are not supposed to be that realistic and jam. Please.
Yeah, we want to have fun shooting our guns, guys. But they've also dealt with a lot of delays too, man. Like that Avatar game, which is going through some stuff. I mean that game I thought have some potential. I was really intrigued that they got the rights to do that. And if I'm not mistaken, do they have rights to a Star Wars game that was unannounced or something along those lines? I can't remember if that's
definitely the rumor.
Yeah. So it's not like they don't have some things coming in the pipeline. I just think that right now, they're trying to do a whole lot of things at one time, and they're trying to, I think, find their creative mark, their thing that makes them Ubisoft. And my thing is like a few years ago, I thought that they had it right. The stuff with like the Division, that was synonymous with Ubisoft. Splinter Cell was synonymous with Ubisoft. You know what I mean? And I just think that they need to go back to their roots and figure out what made them. Go back to what made them successful in the first place and just kind of, go all in on that concept.
I agree. Problem is they copy and pasted that identity into every single one of their games, and there was nothing to differentiate them anymore. That's where that's where the issue lied.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so no more topics.
It's your
this
boy
is the time
Bubba.
in this. Hey, Boba, what's up, brother? Nice to see you.
Boba Fett in the house.
We come to the part of the show that I like to call get to know your panel members. So,
Oh shit, bike.
oh,
Oh Jesus.
we're not
Should we
gonna
eat?
no Fabio. We're not gonna ask you how much gas or milk or bread or eggs or anything are in Brazil. It's not like that.
Ah, thank God.
So
Oof.
we're okay. So get to know your panel members is all about your gaming experiences. So a couple episodes ago, we went over the most memorable, most touching moment in gaming for each of us. And this week, I would like to talk about the the one time that sticks out in your mind that you can remember doing something in the game and it literally made you put your controller down, stand up, and throw your fists in the air and scream in happiness and like you had just conquered the world.
Hmm.
Anybody?
That's
Well,
easy.
I thought you were gonna go the other way
Agree.
with that. I thought you were gonna like say raise your fists in anger, and I already had something played out.
Okay, we'll play it both ways. Anger
Okay.
and
Yeah.
happiness.
Okay, I can do the
Okay.
anger thing right now. You gotta give me a second on the happiness thing. But one thing that just immediately popped into my head, and it's been long enough, guys. So don't come at me about no spoilers, okay? But when Micah shot Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, I literally stood up, put my controller down, and walked out of the room. I literally that hit me harder in the game because I was so invested in the story of Red Dead 2, dude. Like I was in it, man. Like it was cinematic, the music, everything else, dude. And like when Arthur Morgan got shot on that hill,
Oh, hold on.
I
I forgot to give this disclaimer to everybody watching.
Spoilers.
There may be spoilers
it's
in this.
it came out in 2018. Listen, guys, it's
It doesn't
2018,
matter.
guys.
It
If
doesn't
you
matter.
haven't gotten to the end
2015, I
of the
still
game, you
haven't played.
didn't care to
That
begin
didn't
with.
play the
Okay,
game.
if
There's
you
people
haven't
who
beat the
didn't play
game by yet, good lord, that's what I'm saying. Come on now. Okay, so you know what I'm saying, but I'm sorry that to me was the craziest thing that I've had. It literally killed me, dude. Like I was like, oh my god, I was so invested in the character. You know what I mean, and Arthur and the betrayal of Dutch and everything that came along with it, dude. And that little rat Micah shot him, and I could not believe it. I literally stopped. I suddenly stopped what I was doing, and put it down. But that's my angry part right there.
Like I think it's just amazing how Arthur in Red Dead Redemption 2 is such a better protagonist than John Marston.
Oh
I think,
man, I loved him
like,
so much
it's
more than
amazing.
Marston, dude.
It's
I just,
amazing what they managed to do.
he was just the quintessential. He was just like that. He was almost like an anti-hero, man. Like everything about the game wanted to tell you that he was bad. He was a robber. He was a gunman. You know what I mean? But like, dude was just he was a walking contradiction, dude, because he was just a good guy. You know what I mean? He was just wanting to do right by the group of people that he was in. You know what I mean? And
So difficult to write a character that deep with
oh,
that many
it's so
layers
dynamic
in a video
with-
game.
yes,
Amazing. Yeah.
and the whole thing, the whole like father son dynamic with Dutch, and like everything that goes along with that crazy relationship, and add on top of it, the crazy feud between all the different gangs and stuff. Oh man, it's just so good, dude. I cannot believe to this day that Rockstar is letting Red Dead Online flounder in the water when they sold 44 million copies, dude. Like, how do you let a most people or most companies would literally kill for those kinds of sales, and literally Red Dead Online is just, oh no, we're done with it. I think we're okay. We're making so much money on GTA 5 that I guess it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
And the
Oh,
fan
my
base
God.
is trying and to keep it alive, and they're just not getting any help from Rockstar. Yeah.
Infinite Umbra. Yo, I swear to God, dude had a plan for everything. His dumbass literally had a plan for everything. I wanted to kick Dutch in the head since like pretty much that first part when they were in the snow. I was like, this man is somebody needs to kick him off the island. I'm serious. Kick his ass off the island, bro.
You're fired.
All right, Fabio, angry moment.
To me, actually, both my happy moments were when I did it. I felt as if I could conquer the entire world. Is also my angry moment because it's about a little game called Cuphead. Simple as
Oh,
that. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's me. Let me tell you a tale. Eh, not a tale. Okay, fuck it. Here's me and my ex-girlfriend playing co-op Cuphead. We went through it all together, and then it got to the point where we are in the final world. Yeah, the final world, and before the boss, and there's a fucking dragon boss. That is a nightmare. That son of a bitch costed us so much time, so many days of suffering and despair and sadness, and us thinking to ourselves, why the fuck are we playing this stupid ass game? Who the hell has the courage to even possibly be able to beat this fucking dragon? And then, in one moment, I told her, okay, take a rest, leave that to me. The next day, in the morning, the first thing that I decided to do was to play Cuphead. And after a ton of suffering, I've managed to beat the fucking dragon and I conquered anything else after that. I felt like a king, god damn it.
But you what? So what? You beat it without your girlfriend? Is that was that the happy and the sad part?
No, no. The angry part is the angry part is the fact of the suffering that we both passed through while we were trying to do this, and then
Oh,
the
okay.
the
Well,
happiness is when we finally got to beat it and we could continue the game because she gave up on it, and I was like, no, we're not giving up. Let me take care of this. Go get some rest. I'll finish this son of a bitch, and I managed to kill him.
interesting.
Jet
Okay.
Jedi Knight Peter, angry moment.
Okay, so mine are
Let me
both
guess.
the
Let me
same.
guess. Kangaroo jumped through your window and crashed into your television.
Yeah.
Is this the happy moment?
It was the wallaby. So both both mine, and I have many, but I'll go with this one. Both mine are in Dark Souls 3. So the first time I fought Pontiff Sullivan, I got within one hit of killing him. I'm like, okay, this is easy. It took me 3 days to beat that boss, and I destroyed a controller in the process. I smashed it into a wall and smashed it into smithereens. I was furious. But
Oh,
then when I finally beat him, I think the whole neighborhood thought I was insane. I was screaming and yelling in absolute jubilation that I finally did it. And that's why I love the Dark Souls franchise and the Elden Ring franchise. I don't think any game that we have makes you feel that sense of achievement and accomplishment when you actually, beat that boss that's been kicking your ass. Love it.
So, okay, Bob's angry moment. Now, I've never been the one to destroy controllers and stuff. I don't think I've ever broken a controller. I've never rage. I've rage quit, but I've never like did any rage destruction. But I have turned away from a game and never looked back at it. Like totally uninstalled the game, not even halfway through it, just said, "Nope, you did that. I'm not playing you no more." And that was Destiny 2 when they killed Cade 6. When I
oh
finally
man.
when I finally realized that yes, Cade 6 was really dead, I said, fuck you, Bungie. I'm not playing this anymore. And I turned it off and I uninstalled it and I've never looked back. And I loved Destiny. I loved the first Destiny, and, all the raids and stuff after I finished the story, all the DLCs. I loved it. I was loving the second one, and then out of nowhere, they take Cade 6 out, and I was like, "You motherfuckers! I'm not playing this no more." That was my rage. That was my angry moment in game.
Well, you know, Bob. So, interesting that you bring that up because I don't know if if you guys ever like dove into any Destiny lore. You guys, so it was really interesting, right? Because that was the big thing that happened with Destiny 2 Forsaken, right? Like the big thing was K6 was going to die. And that was a huge thing because K6 was like by far, literally by far, probably the most popular character in the series. And that goes to date, right? They don't have a character that was as cool as Cade Six because he was literally like, if you mix, I guess a more heroic version of Deadpool. He was just a jokester. He was funny, but he got the job done. So the reason why he has a number at the end of his name is because they're what's called like EXO, and like EXO is basically like, you take your essence, that like what makes you, and put it into a robot body, right? And they're called EXO. So you can get like quote unquote reborn, right? So there was a Cade. Cade 6 means that there were 6 other iterations of Cade, right? There's a character that you go buy your guns from when you go to the gunsmith in Destiny, Banshee 44, right? So Banshee 44 has been reset 44 times. And the big thing about him is like, he's always forgetting where he's at and what he's doing. He has like that old man, like I don't, where was I at just now? What am I doing kind of thing. So it's an interesting mix because you look into the lore and, Cade had a son and there's a lot of stuff that was kind of left behind from Cade. And, they always said that there was, at least lore wise, there was really no reason to bring him back. But, my guess is there was some issues with, the actor was highly paid and, had other projects and stuff going on. So, but now everybody knows.
There was the reason why they highly paid him. Cade 6 was the only real character that people,
attach themselves to. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
he was the he was the Wolverine of the X-Men. He was the he was the Batman of the Justice League. He was the guy that everybody liked. Everybody couldn't, and like that whenever Forsaken was coming out, Destiny 2 was in a little bit of a lull. They had just had a couple of DLCs that didn't do too well. So they needed, and they even said it in one of their videographies they do, that they needed people to become invested in Destiny 2 again. You know what I mean? And what a better way, you know what I mean? Like, akin to, I would say, like the death of Superman story, you know what I mean? Like, what better way to get people interested is by killing somebody, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. And it worked.
Nice
analogies. It did revitalize the franchise.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Forsaken is still looked at as one of the top DLCs, you know what I mean?
So who hasn't given their happy moment yet?
I didn't give mine yet, but I'm gonna go like super old school. The first time that I ever beat Halo,
you don't have happy moments, Powerman.
Oh yeah, well they're few and far between, but whenever I do get them, I still to this day remember when I soloed Halo Combat Evolved on Legendary, and I was so happy that I got through that game because back whenever the original Xbox came out and Halo Combat Evolved came out, I was just so enamored at the fact that I was playing this first-person shooter on a box on a TV in my home, and I was just so blown away by the world, and I was so challenged by the legendary mode and doing that solo, and it was such a good rewarding experience going through it at like the peak of all the hardness that goes into Halo. So I don't know, that always stick in my head as like one of my crowning achievements, in that moment as 16, 17-year-old kid, you know what I mean? Like I was pretty proud of that. So, I look back to that happily.
I remember my dad mowing the lawn outside yelling at me when I was playing Halo Combat Evolved on Legendary when I was just raging, thinking I was like crazy or something.
Yeah. It's why I was always, it was such a shame that, even right now that, Halo is such a great co-op experience, man. And I really think that Halo Infinite, like if anybody can convince people to go back and co-op that campaign, I think it's going to be so much fun to go through on Legendary. I haven't done it yet. I didn't even touch Legendary because I'm doing that shit co-op, man. I want to experience that with a couple of good buddies, and I want to go in there and kill that campaign on Legendary and see what it's got. You know what I mean? So
Me too, bro. I mean, Riskit and Umbra and I have already locked that time down. I haven't done it on Legendary yet, and
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't done it, period. I got stopped by the wife who said, "We always play Halo together, so, and you are horrible at spoiling things, so you need to stop playing it right now." And the good husband that I am, stopped playing it. So,
For
Yeah.
1 second, I thought you said you would stop, then you went to your room, and then you decided to continue playing.
no.
Yeah, and
No.
the thing is like it really didn't get a good shake. Everybody was so concerned about Halo and the multiplayer and Craig and everything else. They totally glossed over what was a really good a good setup and a good meat and skeleton for a good new story for Halo, man. You know what I mean? They told a lot of good stories. They're asking a lot of good questions at the end of this campaign, and it got me, at the end of it, dude, I got excited. I got excited for what could be in store for Halo. You know what I mean? What could be in store for the Master Chief? You know what I mean? And the fact that we're still, we went back to basics. We focused on Chief. We're not paying too much attention to other people. You know what I mean? Like we're here for Chief. That's what we want to do. And I just don't. I think it got a bad shake. And people just gloss over the fact that
Miss
they got such a good story.
Cortana.
Yeah.
I still miss her. I think she is as important to the story as Chief is,
Yeah.
as good as the weapon
I mean,
is, and I
she's-
know they're
the
trying to
weapon is
manipulate
Cortana.
us
The weapon is
by
Cortana.
making her so
The
nice and so naive and so young.
But
But I just don't think that she stands, toe to toe with Cortana in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
I mean,
I'm not
I look at
listening.
Chief. I look at Chief
I'm
and
not
Cortana as
listening.
one and the same, bro.
I agree,
They're one
I
and the
agree.
same,
I'm
man.
so
Like,
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Now I notice that my mistake. Jesus Christ, Bob, forgive me. Forgive me. I didn't realize. Seriously, I'm so. I'm
listen,
so.
it might sound
Seriously,
like it, but there's no spoilers in this.
no,
No,
seriously,
we've been
seriously,
very
I'm
careful.
so
I might have
to be honest.
spoiled Red Dead 2 for everybody in the
I'm
chat,
so,
but that's
no,
it is what
like
it is, man. You know what
seriously, seriously.
You had your
I'm
chance.
so upset. I'm so upset because Bob just said I didn't play Halo because I'm waiting for Colby to play with my wife, and then out of the sudden the Brazilian asshole now decides to spoil the fucking game. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh no, I didn't hear it. I successfully talked over you. I drowned you out in my ears. I didn't hear you.
Thank God, thank God. Whew. Don't rewatch the episodes, please.
Okay. So my happy moment is when I got my very first Xbox, and I experienced 4-player split screen Halo Combat Evolved, 4-player split screen Red Faction, and that's all I could think about. That's all I did. As soon as I was done with work, or I think I was in college at the time. Yeah, that's all we did, and I loved every single second of it. It's too bad that's not really a thing anymore because
Wait a-
there's nothing better than kicking somebody's ass and being able to turn, look at them on the couch, and go, "Did you see that shit? That's right.
So
got
good,
it."
huh?
Wait
Yeah,
a
I
second.
mean, back in the days, the GoldenEye 64 or Mario Kart, sitting next to your mate and just like being able to rub it in, like they're right in front of you. So good, great times, great times.
Like, wait a second. The happy moment. Was a happy moment supposed to be only a really special happy moment, or just like something like Bob mentioned before, of like something that you did in gaming that made you feel like you can do anything after that, like you feel like a god? Because if we're talking about happy special moments, the happiest moment for me is my entire playthrough of Banjo Kazooie. That's it.
Then my super happy moment was when I stopped playing Banjo Kazooie.
Oh my god,
Oh God, Bob.
savage, bro, savage.
You know what? You know who the weapon is? Let
Well-
me tell you something.
Okay, in my defense, I didn't play it back in the day. I tried to play it when there were already so many other better looking and better controlling games out. So yeah,
Oh, man, I was a
Ah,
huge Nintendo 64 guy, man. I love the Nintendo 64. So Banjo
Bob.
Kazooie was a major part of that, dude. Like I killed Banjo. I loved it.
Do
It
you
was fun.
understand? Like, do you understand what it is? The fact of like you play Banjo Kazooie nowadays and you feel like a kid.
Yeah.
It's just so. It's just like it's just the music.
I mean, they've said,
the
Rare said
environment.
that they're okay with letting another studio take it if they really want to, if they really want to
Yep.
make something happen. You know what I mean? So
Toys for Bob, please.
Toys for Bob.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
That's the
get them
the
off,
first.
Call of Duty, bro. Put them on
But like
Banjo. Put them on
Rare
something
did
good.
Rare did mention that. I think Rare mentioned also that they wanted to see people doing something different as well, and not just the same thing over and over. Like they would, for what it seems, they wouldn't just accept for a studio to make a remaster or a remake of it. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
well,
And that's wrong. For fuck's sake,
that's
Rare. For
that's
fuck's
a
sake, Rare.
wrap. Thumber said his happy moment was Forza.
Just Forza. No
Oh, and
specific
Denver
game.
also said, "Did anyone say Banjo?"
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, of course Fabio did.
Of course, I'm going to talk about Banjo. It's like one of my top 3 favorite games of all time.
Ooh, that's a whole nother topic right there, man. That's we should definitely one of
No,
these
we are
weeks we
going to
should do
discuss
a
this
top
next
3
week.
or a top 5.
Yeah.
You know,
We are going to
Agree
discuss
to
this next week. This is going to be
Yeah.
next week.
Top
Not
3 or
yet.
top
I missed
5.
that. I
we'll
missed
figure
that
it
with
out.
Pyro. He was saying that his happy moment is Burnout 3 on his original Xbox, and you could burn your CDs onto the hard drive and play them in the background when you're playing. I did the exact same thing
Oh yeah, me too, dude.
with Project Gotham. I loved it. So good.
Thank you, Pyro. Thank you. Conquer greater than Banjo.
Yeah, you could argue that. I mean, you could argue
Yeah,
that.
you can.
I think
Yeah, you can argue that.
Conquer was
You
more
can.
more of a character than Banjo. You know what I mean?
You can definitely argue that, but I don't care. But Banjo is better to me.
I mean, they put Banjo in Smash, man. Just saying.
Yeah. Where's Conquer now?
Oh, fight!
In the vault, bro. He's in the vault, man.
He's
He's
in the
hiding
vault.
in the
He's
vault
in the
somewhere.
vault. He's in the vault, and
I
as a
don't know
fucking-
if the world in 2022 is ready for Conquer, man. You know
and
what I'm
as a
saying? Like,
fucking, he's in the vault, and as a fucking character of Microsoft HoloLens. Do you remember the monstrosity of Young
Yeah.
Conquer?
yeah,
Look how they massacred my boy. What have they done to
What
him?
they did to my boy.
Ah,
All right. So, Fabio, where can all these fine people listening to this podcast, where can they find you at?
well, everyone, always glad to be here. You can find me as being a guest here, as well as you can find me on Twitter as @FBOAmorim97, on Xbox as BuffonLizard8, and you can find me on my own podcast and YouTube channel that I share with a lot of nice people called the XPL Party Podcast.
Yeah, I know those fellas real well.
For sure, Bob.
For sure.
We do miss you.
Well, I miss you guys too. I have to have a reunion one day.
For sure.
Powerman 4K, where can people find you at, good sir?
Oh man, good show tonight, guys. Always good talking it up with you. On Thursdays, you can catch me here at 9:00 p.m. chopping it up with you guys on Game Set Live. I am on Twitter most of the time at PowerMan4K. I am on PowerMan4K on all gaming channels. So make sure to shoot me a follow, add me, do whatever, hit me up. I'm always down to play some games.
And we got him to stop getting banned off of Twitter. Yes.
I've realized you have to. I just have to block the certain people in certain communities that really just they really just
They
get me
bring
to
out
that
the
point.
bad
man.
side of
Oh
Power
man,
Man.
yeah, yeah. Mr. Hyde comes out for sure.
Yeah. Jedi Knight Peter, sir. Where can people
Thank you
find
for
you
having
at
me
when you're not
again,
chasing
KY.
wallabies?
Power Man for Fabio. Just had a great time. I really did. I really love talking game with you guys. So you can find me at Jedi Knight Peter on Twitter on Xbox. But my main podcast is Xbox Infinite, and that is tomorrow at 8 p.m. So Friday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, check us out.
And
It's
this is
great.
your
It's a
host,
great
KY Bob.
podcast too, man.
What?
It's a lot of fun.
Ooh. Oh yeah, dude. The production values on Xbox Infinite are great, man. That intro is badass. I love it.
And honestly, like Fridays were in dire need of it, man, because like there were a couple of shows that I was into back in the day, but that in my opinion have just kind of fallen off and just not they're no longer what I want to listen to. You know what I'm saying on Fridays. So having Xbox Infinite as that Friday lineup that I can check out after I get off work is always something I look forward to. So.
Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it, man. Well, we love all you guys, man. Awesome.
And KY Bob can be found on this YouTube channel, hosting this show every Thursday. I am KY Bob on PlayStation, Twitter, Xbox, Steam, Origin. Sometimes there's a space or an underscore between the K and the Y, or the Y and the B, or both. And everybody, it was great to be seen. It was great to see all of you. Have a great weekend and game on.
Peace.